live? We're live.
Well, by the way,
Stream
Mike.
live.
Go on, do it. Go on, let's just go.
Right.
This is Rogue.
Right. Hello and welcome to In Bed by 10 Sunday Vibe. We all know why it's In Bed by 10. It's my new nickname. We are joined by Mr. McCaffrey himself, Billy Wood, that is out and about going into
I'm at the Smith and Western. Here we go.
And we are also joined by Reigate Priory manager, Dale White. How are we?
Not gonna lie, I got a bit of man flu tonight, gents. So apologies in advance for something like Darth Vader.
That's all right, mate.
But otherwise, all good. Thank you, mate. How you doing? You all right?
Yes, good. Thank you, mate. Not bad at all. Mike, how are we?
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks, pal. Good weekend. Can't complain.
Yeah. And Bill, Billy, how are we, mate?
Yeah, say hi. You're on the podcast. Yeah, I'll just have a Coke, please, lads. I'm going to do this outside. I'm good, lads. Can you hear me okay, or is it too loud in here?
No, we can hear you, mate.
Is it all right? You can't hear the background music too much?
Nah, you're fine. We can
All
hear
right,
you.
okay, I'm in. We'll just sit down and enjoy it. I'm good.
Right.
I'm good, gents. I've just had a friendly in Tunbridge for the women's team, and, well, it's too late now to get home and make a Sunday roast, so here we are. It's all good.
Bill's on his Brokeback Mountain.
That's it, Broken Mountain vibes. There we go.
So we have got Dale with us tonight. Dale, mate, really, I think we should start with yesterday's result and the 9-1 against Uckfield.
Yeah, it was a relief, to be honest. I was saying to Mike a bit earlier today. We were 1-0 down for a best part of about just shy of half an hour yesterday. Yeah, and then managed to get a couple of quick goals before half time to take us in 3-1 at half time. And even then, to be honest, mate, it was on a bit of a knife edge. It's one of those that at 3-1, you get the next goal, all of a sudden they could be, getting that extra 10% going back after us. But we get that next goal and kill it off. And based on the last time we played them, we knew that if we got that goal, heads would drop, and then it's just you keep going. And obviously what happened yesterday could happen again. And all credit to our lads. They went hell for leather for the last sort of half an hour of the game. And I feel for the Uckfield boys, because for a good hour they were decent. They were a good side.
But looking at yesterday's game, did you think it was going to go the same way as it did last time?
No, absolutely not. No. They had 4 lads that started against us yesterday that started against us last time out, and I knew some of the lads that they brought in as well. So I knew they were going to be a bit more difficult to break down. The first sort of 5-10 minutes of the game, we had a lot of possession, created a little bit from it, but they went on a counter and showed us straight away that they carry threat this time round, and punished us for it. Went 1-0 up early doors. Nice.
So obviously, you got so that's 18 goals in 2 games against Uckfield now. But looking to how you started this season, is this where you were visioning and you were hoping to be?
Off the back of last season and back of previous seasons gone by as well, our trajectory for quite a while now has been go up, stay up, go up, stay up. And, don't get me wrong, this is a completely different kettle of fish. His birthday's that then.
I don't know what he's doing.
But obviously coming up to senior football now, we knew it was going to be a different kettle of fish. It was going to be more difficult to continue achieving that, especially with budgets, etc., etc. So, we come into it going, you know what, last year's a free hit, and some of our lads just went, it's an experience for us and just enjoy it. So we did that, and then we realised that actually we can compete with the top sides in this division, and we sort of looked at the end of last season and went, really, we should be targeting the playoffs this season. So, there's the top 5 teams at the moment. It'll be difficult to break into those 5. We have lacked a bit of consistency at times this season. We've got the capability of going and blowing teams away. We've obviously done Loxwood 4-0 last week, Uckfield 9-1 this week. We've got the ability to do it, but then we've also got the ability to lose in the 92nd minute to a set piece. It can go either way.
Dale, can I ask you something quickly?
Yeah, go for it.
Reigate. Obviously, we'll get into your history and what you've done and where you are. But just on yesterday's performance, obviously I saw you play that 9-0 game at the Oaks against Duckfield earlier in the season. Played against you last year, what have you. I think you got a very good side there. I think it's been based on growth of time. It's not been a quick bring in loads of players, quick fix. You've kind of done what you need to do in step 7, got up to step 6, and you're kind of now pushing on. Two questions. I'll break down into 2. 1, what's the club's ambition this season? Yeah. And 2, what's your ambition?
So, I mean, any pressure that is on me comes from myself and from within, because our lads are ambitious lads as well. So our ambition has always been get playoffs and potentially get to a cup final. We feel like we were sort of robbed of a cup final last season, so we wanted to put that right this season. As it stands, we're only remaining in one of the 4 cups that we entered this season, so that's not going particularly great at the moment. But we're still, we're roughly where we needed to be at this stage of the season to really have a go at the playoffs. So we're happy with that. In terms of the club, there's never been any pressure from the club whatsoever. So I took it on 10 years ago. The club was really, really struggling at step 7, and score lines that you're seeing yesterday, we were on the receiving end of those. And it was tough for about 3 years or so. It was a case of, okay, we've really got to reassess here and work out what we're going to do with the future of this club, because we went from 5 teams down to 3 and we're struggling to fulfill 3. We're having to just share players across teams just to make sure that each team is filled in 11 each week. But yeah, we sort of stripped it back, got in a load of new young players from teams that sort of get cast off locally, like Merstham, South Park, etc., and just rebuilt throughout the sort of last 6 years, really. And we are where we are now.
The project's strong. So,
the project.
Billy the project would.
I'm gonna ask that question a little bit more. Like, what's your ambition personally? Is Reigate Priory the place? I'm not saying you want to leave it tomorrow or anything like that, but do you see yourself trying to, as a manager, climb the leagues, or is it a case time by time, season by season, you want to progress the club to a point where they can then compete at top end of step 6, maybe nick a playoff position, get promoted step 5, then move on? Or is it a case that, there be a point where you feel, results-wise, where you are as a football club, that you might need to push on?
Resources are always going to be... Yeah, no, you're right, it is. And it's, there's going to come a point, and we know this, there's going to come a point where the club's got to decide its identity, really. When it came to deciding, do we apply for promotion to step 6 or not? Like, I genuinely thought we were going to get back on it a little bit. The costs outweigh the benefits to an extent. But we had to put together like a plan as such to say, okay, we have to evidence as a first team that we are cost neutral. Like, we're not going to be a burden on the rest of the club. So we have to evidence that we can fund it ourselves with the ground share, even the increased referees fees and the amount of balls you lose every week.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
So it's, at some point the club probably will need to decide its identity and what we will do with it, because we do have a facility that we want to try and get to the standard, but it's been a nightmare trying to get the funding for it. And whether we will be able to do it still remains to be seen. But we had the support from the board to get promoted to step 6, which, as I say, I didn't know if they were going to do it, because it's a case of live within your means. But they did it. They saw the opportunity. They saw the talent that we had. And they went, you know what, we're going to back it. And they've not looked back. They've been so proud of what we've achieved so far. And when I walked in 10 years ago, I was 23 years old. And I said, my ambition is to get this club back into the FA Cup for the first time since 1873.
You're only 33, Dal?
I am, yeah.
Around that.
I know. But I remember literally sat opposite me where I am now. The club president, Jez, sort of looked at me like, all right. And we sort of got laughed out the door a little bit, really. We were saying, get the club back into the FA Cup. But, they backed us the whole way. And we're not that far from it. It's just that one more promotion. I always said, let's get to that point and then just see what happens from there, really.
Well, mate, I think you're doing a great job there. All your staff I met last year, no one's big time. Everyone's just, you're good people. Do you know what I mean? You're really good people, and it's really nice to see the success you're having.
Yeah, that's the key, really. We've always said that it's a no dickheads policy at the club, and that stretches across from. We've now got 6 teams playing on Saturday, So from the first team right the way down to our C team, you've obviously got the 23s within that as well. And that's the key, really, is making sure that it's the community and people want to play for the club because of the people within it.
Dale, we caught up pre-season. You've always been a supporter of what we do. Great guy to work with. Tell the people listening about how many families are actually involved in this club.
Yeah, I mean,
I can believe.
Yeah, I mean, we've obviously got 6 men's teams on Saturdays. You've got the youth section as well. So we are run separately. So they're Reigate Priory Youth Football Club. We are run separately, but we are linked at the same time. So it serves over 1,000 families in the local community. We've got 50, I think it's 56, something like that, youth teams. And obviously the 6 Saturday men's teams. And then we've got the vets team on Sunday.
Okay, can I also ask as well how hard it's been not being at what you called yourself pre-season, your spiritual home?
I mean, that's where I am now, to be fair. We are at the spiritual home here, sort of behind me. But yeah, it's difficult because it's the first team have played here since inception in 1870. So when we moved away the year before that, because we had to ground share with Hawley to be able to get the promotion from Step 7 to Step 6. So that was the first time we'd done that in the long history of the club. So it was a weird one, and it was one that a lot of people are, I'm not sure about that. But we've now got our reserve team at Step 7 as well. So that's, again, it's the highest that anyone can play here. We've still got a team playing at that level here. So, you know, it's difficult. And you can see behind me, we've got the bar here that generates a lot of our income. And obviously at Hawley, they're great to us. They're superb, but we don't get that money behind the bar.
But I was about to say there must have financial implications on what you can, let's say, put into the team.
Yeah, well, exactly that. There's what is put into the team as such is just what you see around us. It's the ground share with Hawley, it's the referees, it's the balls, it's everything like that on match day. It's just the facilities, and that's just, we do just enough to get by on that front. Do the bare minimum, essentially. Anyone that comes to play us, we get the hot dogs out. It costs us 20, 25 quid, bosh, done.
So how long is it till you're eventually back home?
We will never play here. At senior football, we will never play here. We get a lease. We lease it from the cricket club. We will never be able to perimeter it off. We'll never be able to get floodlights. Like, as senior football, will never ever be played on this pitch. It will be, so the place that you met me up at Nevern, if we can get around certain things where there's a lot of red tape at the moment, we're trying to get the funding for it. I.e., we can't access Premier League funding because we're not playing at that ground. And then there's other funding we can't access because they won't fund Step 6 and above projects. It has to be community-based. So we're caught in between a rock and a hard place with that. And we've currently got a bit of funding to go towards some of the work up there, but we still need another sort of 70-odd grand to do it. So again, we don't know whether we will ever be able to do that. It just needs the investment. And you could potentially have a facility up there for a big housing estate that's completely untapped, where you could get usage community-wise, but also the clubhouse up there. You could get social nights up there and whatnot. And that village up there, they've got a news agent. That's literally it. Like,
so how will that impact your future plans at the club? As in, is this going to hinder you how far you can potentially take them?
Yeah, of course it will. You know, again, we need the support from the local community, from local councillors, from Premier League funding, that sort of stuff. We need support from them to be able to do what we want to do up there. And what we want to do up there isn't just to benefit the first team and go, oh, look how high we can push. That's not what it's about. We want to create a facility up there that a lot of people can use it. We've tried to get local schools that were interested in using it. We've tried to sort it out for them, but we just can't get the pitch playable all year round. We also want to increase, we've always said that this club is very much for the community. It's about increasing participation. Hence, we've grown to the point that we are, and we can't physically go beyond that because we just don't have the training space. We don't have the pitches to do it. We would love to be able to get a women's team out as well, but again, we just can't get the facilities for
it. Look at Bill. Look at Bill. Box office.
Yeehaw, mate. Yeehaw. Come on.
So, are you at a point now where you realistically know where you can take the club, where you can't take the club, unless factors outside of your control are implemented.
But yeah, in theory, I believe ground sharing with Hawley, we can go as high as step 4. I don't think we can go any further than that. But again, it's realistically the funding that comes around it.
Come up. Sorry, not having that on League South and Sussex. Not a cowboy, mate. Only on a Sunday.
It is Sunday. Right. So yeah, it's as I say, we've got a good relationship with Hawley anyway. So as long as we're there, we can go as high as step 4 there. But that's a long way down the road, and it's a big old stretch. I think that gap between step 5 and step 4 is a big old gap.
Yeah.
But as I say, our sights have always been on get back into the FA Cup, which we were close to it before because you could have applied at step 6 before, and then as soon as we got promoted, it got pushed back.
I love that. So I think my final question for you, Dal, is when we spoke pre-season, you're very meticulous in how you approach the game. Great football in mind, I think. I really do. You analyse every single decision, really. I mean, I've had WhatsApps from you saying, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? You obviously give a real shit about what you're doing, and you really want to try and those little fine margins take it on. How bad is that desire within you to be the best you can as a coach or a manager?
I've always been like that, but I think you have to be at this level and above. You have to be, and every manager at this level will be exactly the same. They will be meticulous. They will commit so much time to it, and that's why I've got so much respect for the other coaches and people like yourselves who platform it as well. Because to some people, they might be like, "Oh, it's Mickey Mouse Park football," because they go and watch the Premier League from their armchair every week. But to people like us and thousands of others, it means so much to people. So yeah, we do care. We do want to put everything into it. It's what keeps us ticking. It's what gives us a release from the other stresses in life, and it's we put our heart and soul into it. So yeah, it's everyone wants to try and be the best they want to be, right? And it's no different for me. We always want to try and keep pushing and make sure that we're getting those fine details right.
Just one more question then, sorry, because I was going to ask you this. Who's the top 3 teams you played this season?
Billingshurst, without doubt, for me. I think that's the one game this season that we can look back at and go, do you know what, we deserved absolutely nothing from that. Billingshurst were very good. Obviously, Godalming, you know what you're going to get from them. They're tough. They're so tough to break down. Yeah, they are difficult. The third one, I can't comment on Worthing because I wasn't there. Unfortunately, little one was in hospital, so I was away for that one. Who else is up there?
You're telling me you didn't watch the video, Dal?
Do you know what? I asked for it, but apparently the VO wasn't working. Make of that what you will, yeah.
Well, that happens a lot every weekend, doesn't it? So, those VOs, they're very unreliable.
Yeah, I've no idea. I've no idea about that one. I can only go by what I've been told on that. And from what I've been told, it seems like we're a little bit hard done by there. But yeah, do you know what I was actually surprised by? First game of the season, I think there's an air of arrogance from our lads as well, to be honest, and they'll say the same thing. But my local way. We went 1-0 up maybe within the first 20 minutes, but they pinned us back and they were so dogged with their set pieces. They're just relentless, just spamming the ball into the box, and it paid off in the end. So yeah, that was a game that we felt like we'd lost control in within that second half. Absolutely, we just couldn't get control back. No matter what changes we made, formation, personnel, we just could not get control back in that game.
So looking from last season to now this season, has there been any major changes you've made of sort of players going, players coming in? Has there been a mass, like not a mass, but a big change squad wise?
Yeah, squad wise, there was actually way more of a change than we hoped for, if I'm honest. Various reasons around it, some of them for the right reasons. We had a couple of lads that have gone and progressed. Tommy McKenna scored 2 for Horsham YM yesterday. Alamin Salami started the season quite well with Horsham YMs, now moved across the Forest Row. So those boys are doing all right. We had a couple of other lads trialling elsewhere during the summer, but they ended up sort of sticking around with us. A couple of other lads that have moved on for other reasons. We've got some that just stopped playing entirely, to be honest. I think when you're sort of progressing up through grassroots and then you move up to step 6, obviously the lure of it's exciting. But then once you get there and you're playing, 48 games last season, you're playing Saturday, Tuesday, and you have to inflate your squad a little bit because of the amount of games you've got. But then all of a sudden, there's players that aren't getting game time, and it's tough. It can be really, really tough on lads that aren't used to that, and some of them just lose the love of the game. They just want to take a break from it.
And the travel down as well. The travel completely changes.
Joe, what you say that, but we actually travel less now than we did in mid Sussex. We were going down to Hastings 5 times a season.
You've got Westfield, Crowhurst, the likes of Hollington, I think things like that. So you could end up traveling quite a bit.
Yeah, one of the reasons we wanted to go up was for the travel. Yeah,
to minimise it.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Sorry, I've gone outside of Smith and Weston because it's too loud in there. I can't focus. There's cowboy hats flying around. They're yee-hawing. I can't deal with it. So instead, I'm at Sainsbury's. So, this isn't what I expected the podcast to be 3 weeks in, lads. I'll tell you. So I do apologise massively.
You're fine, mate. Don't worry.
Yeah, but no, Dale. Look, I'm a big fan of what you guys are doing down there, and I hope you do get the grounds. The home that you need to keep this progression on, because it'd be great to see, mate.
Appreciate it, mate. And obviously last season we played Bill Clifford's Worthing United first game of the season, and that was a tough old game. But we then came to your boys' second game of the season midweek. Jesus Christ, that was a rude awakening. I think it was 3-0 half time. Ellis Wright an absolute masterclass.
Yeah, it did. Yeah. And,
I think we maybe went 5-1 down, something like that. That was a bit of a wake up call for us to show us, okay, this is what it's about.
Well, I had a couple of 5-1s last year, and I had a couple of 9-0s as well. But Mike actually masterminded a 5-1 against me.
I sure did.
Leon Turner got sent off. He did.
We do know that was only because your geezer got sent off for.
No, it's all good. But that's when I go back to that, Dale. Even that game, I thought your boys never stopped. They worked so hard, and that comes from you. That comes from the coaches. That comes from they're brought into what you do. So you've got to take a lot of pride into that, mate. And look, I never liked seeing anyone beat Uckfield. Obviously, I witnessed the 9-0 earlier, and I hated that. And obviously, you won 9-1 yesterday again, and it's not nice. But then, end of the day, some teams have to be ruthless, and you're being ruthless in those moments. And fair play to you. +8 on the goal difference yesterday. It's going to do your playoff chances a hella good, isn't it? So well done.
Well, we had to win yesterday, really, to be able to keep up with the pace, because those boys in top 5 at the moment, they're just not dropping anything, really, are they?
No. Jim, can I ask you a question, actually? Because we're going to probably talk about results. Are you finding there's a real divide at the moment between top half and bottom half in a lot of leagues? So in your league, I'm seeing results where, like Copform on Friday night against Saltdean, 7s. I'm seeing yours 9. I've seen 9 more. I actually thought it was a rare occasion that when I suffered it last year, a 9. But I've seen it too many times. Like yesterday, Lancing again lost 9-0 to Eastbourne United, who haven't had the greatest of starts. Now, don't get me wrong, they brought in the Hull brothers, Charlie Bourne, a few others, so they boosted ranks. And then 10-2 Shoreham. What is it? Why are the bottom 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 teams in both the Prem and Div 1 so far off the rest in their division at the moment? Why do you think that is?
It's a really good question.
Yeah, it's difficult, isn't it? I think in our division, if I'm honest, I think having played them now, we obviously played Loxwood last week, we haven't played Copform yet, but you look at the bottom 3 currently in Div 1, I think there's maybe a bit of a gap from them to some of the others, but I think generally speaking, I think this division is open. It is open. You've got teams like Oakwood, who I think have just dropped. Maybe after Saturday, they've just gone back into the top half. But I mean, you saw their run at the start of the season. They're unbeaten for what, 10 games?
Yep.
Yeah.
But they're currently sitting mid-table. So anyone can take points off of anyone. Even we're talking about Uckfield 9-1 just yesterday. But you look after the last time we beat them 9-0. They then took 7 points from 9. And they've lost narrowly to Selsey, who are flying, Arundel, who are doing really, really well. The narrow defeat. So they've been in games against those sides. So I think it's a fairly even playing field across most of the teams in that division. And sometimes it's just that little bit of nous to get you over the line. We've lacked it in a few games this season, which I think is why we're just dwindling just outside the playoffs at the moment. But for the very fine margins, maybe in the 90 minutes plus in a few games, we'd probably be top 2.
Dale, you obviously, a bit like me, a bit like Bill, pretty outspoken.
Yeah.
Sometimes, don't really care what we say. We say what we see.
Join the club.
Exactly. I want to know about what you think is the standard of refereeing in your league.
Oh, now you're trying to get me in trouble, aren't you?
No, I'm not asking you to incriminate.
Be careful, because Giles is currently under investigation. So be careful what you say.
Oh, actually, yeah, don't bother asking that. I'll ask if you. I don't think it's as good as it's been 5-10 years ago.
What I will say is at the end of last season, I sat down and thought about it on a balanced sort of position. And I kind of went, did we, I mean, when our sort of promotion season at step 7, I felt like maybe we had a few more things go against us than we had for us that potentially cost us the title. But last season, I looked at it and I went, you know what, on the balance of play, I think we had as many things go for us that maybe shouldn't have done as things that went against us. So actually on the balance of it, I thought it was probably about right. This season so far, probably about the same again, if I'm honest with you.
So I think the problem is there's an absolute lack of referees, you know, and I also think that the young referees coming through, it only takes a few games, you know, these 16, 17, 18-year-old lads, it only takes a few games of getting a bit of abuse where they think, do you know what, fuck this. Why should I be doing this? For whatever they get, 45, 50, 60 quid, you know? So it does sort of balance out the fact that you're going to get the odd poor one. There's a lot of good ones. There is a lot of good ones. But I think there needs to be a drive of more ex-players going into that. I do, in that referee side. If they're not going to go into management or any coaching or, you know, but want to stay involved in the game, why not try and get those badges? I think players might see it a bit different, actually, as being a ref, considering if you didn't play.
I think a lot of people across the board feel that more ex-players should be referees, but I suppose those ex-players have also been on the pitch with referees, have probably abused referees. They probably think, sod that, why do I want to be on the receiving end of it?
Exactly. So, I mean, I think there is a problem in...
Mike, would you be a referee?
Do you know what? I was approached to do it. I was an arsehole. I was always moaning to refs, a typical centre-half skipper that any decision went against, whether it should have or shouldn't have, I would have been, you know, making it, trying to get that little edge with the ref. Yeah, and there's some you can influence, I believe.
Yeah.
So I seriously thought about it. But even being a bit of a dickhead that I am, I thought, do you know what? I don't fancy this. I don't fancy getting the grief.
Well, look, at the end of the day, getting the decision wrong, do you know what I mean? Like, you get it wrong, and it's a split decision, isn't it? So like, we've all get on refs' backs, so we've all been there, right? We've all been booked, sent off, whatever, by referees.
Yeah.
But when you actually think about it, the decision is so split half the time. If they've got any doubt in their mind, they're never going to give right at certain things. So they're going to get things wrong. It's human nature to. But I think probably the last 10 years, the abuse has got so bad. And I've added to that. Mike, you have. Down, pretty sure you probably have.
Yeah.
Lee, you probably have if it's before 10 p.m. at night. But I think for me, how more can we help them? I don't know, because it's such an emotive game.
Do you think then? I mean, there's an idea floating around, especially within the Sussex Sunday football leagues. There's an idea floating around that they have the little cameras on and the little microphones. You know, a bit controversial, but that is what I would call a preventative measure.
100%. Because I'll tell you what, if there was a camera in my face, I would say after shit. You say, do you know what I mean? You'd be embarrassed.
You'd be like,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Embarrassing.
I think that, but I mean, I did do some refereeing, but only when it was my junior sides, the under 14 sides I had. But you can even say with that, you can get the parents going, and they're nothing compared to county league fans or managers. You even think, do you know what? I got that wrong, or I got that right, but they think I got that wrong, and it does play on you. I think it's a thankless job. I really do. Being a referee, it's
a lonely job as well, isn't it? You're there mostly on your own, because let's be honest, that's one thing that frustrates me as well, is that you're supposed to have an officiating team, But so often you'll have a liner go, oh yeah, it was definitely that. It's like, well, why didn't you help him out then? Oh, it's not my position to do so. It's like, you're supposed to be a team. If you can see something that he can't, you've got better angle, help him out.
Yeah, I agree. I just think there should be some kind of initiative or things like the little improvements like the cameras and the microphones.
Well, on that note, did I see, and I'm shocked by the way, did I see Jarlsy say the referee had a good game?
Yeah.
He's the worst referee.
He's getting a better stick, isn't he?
Game, can't he?
That's why he gets in trouble.
Yeah, he does get a bit of stick. But Giles is like us. He speaks from the heart, and he actually gives a shit about his team. He's passionate. He thinks about football for 168 hours a week. You know, he literally is on it. So for him to say the referee had a good game, that must have been what Kalina turned out and refed yesterday. Do you know what I mean? So, but
I didn't have much to do.
But yeah, probably not with that result. But I'm sure we'll talk about that. But I definitely think if they did a little initiatives with microphones and little cameras, first and foremost, it stopped the bullshit from where you go to these appeals and these hearings, you know, because it's cut and dry, isn't it? It really is. It's done. If it's on camera like that, look, games are live streamed. People have got their cameras out, you know, whether they're broke or not, or slapped out of you. But I just think they should look at that. But I think the county leagues, the county FA, they don't really want to know about that kind of thing. You know, that's just my opinion. Happy for anyone to
additional money as well. And I don't know how much these things cost to have for each referee or each lino, but who pays that? Is that going to be the FA? Is that going to be the clubs?
Well, the FA ain't short for a few quid, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And if you look at the balance of play, the business model that they put in, and that would stop hearings, okay, and that would speed up process, and literally cut down the amount of things that are going through them, the admin side. I think it'll level out. It also opens up for someone to sponsor it. You know, do you remember when the other referees were sponsored by Specsavers? Classic.
Yeah. That was about 2 seasons ago, weren't it?
Well, it started years ago, didn't it? You know, but I just think that's something they should look into. And if leagues, you know, pressurise the county FA to try and make something like that happen, I bet the standard would increase, the admin and all the problems would go down. You know, there'd still be that. But what you would get is you get the players and the managers thinking before they have a little go.
What they say, yeah.
Just my opinion.
Yeah. No, yes. I mean, I've been to games and refs that follow me in that, and then I've had messages on Instagram and all that from referees going, "Oh, mate, look, have you got this clip of what happened today?" And so I can review it and look over it. And it's like, well, yeah, I can send it to you. I haven't got a problem. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of young referees now that if they ref 2 or 3 games and that they get the amount of abuse they do, they just stop doing it and they don't carry on with it. And that's when you get the older refs come back in, and it's a bit like I said with the FA, the top FA, they don't care too much about grassroots football down in what we follow, Sussex, that sort of thing. For me, it's all about the Premier League and Championship, EFL, all that sort of thing.
I think, Lee, it's obviously Premier League is the centerpiece of everything that happens, right? And obviously professional football is professional football. I actually think that side's looked after really, really well. And I actually think grassroots, what I mean by grassroots is non-senior football is actually probably looked after really well. Like there's a lot of funding, a lot of grants you can tap up. I think there's a missing piece. Now brought up earlier about the fact that they want to They want to progress, have their own ground, want to do what they need to do. But because they play at Step 6, you wouldn't believe how tough it is for Step 6 clubs to get the right funding and grants. Upfield last year couldn't get things that they need to get to do their ground up. They couldn't. So I actually think there's with FA, top level. And by the way, if there's loud music in the background, I apologise to all the watchers and listeners today. I really do. This is the only week I will not be at my desk doing this. Top level is what it is. Underneath, great, but there's this middle grey area of clubs that really want to compete and push on that cannot. And I think it'd be great if the FA helped them more. It would be really good if they could. Yeah. But you've got to find ways to, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. But yeah, no, I agree with what Bill says and like what I've been saying there and what you said, Dale. But looking at sort of your season going forward, say get the end of the season, you're in the playoffs. Then, in your eyes, are you like, yeah, right, this is it, boys. We're gonna go up this season. It doesn't matter who we play in the playoffs. This is what I want, and we're gonna get promoted.
Well, the likelihood is at the moment you're probably going to be playing in the playoffs. You're probably going to have a Billingshurst or a Godalming up there, and they're going to be difficult to get past. It really depends what version of us turns up. We've got to get there first, obviously, but against any of those teams, it really depends on what version of us turns up on the day. But I'm sure anyone can say that as well. It's just a case of making sure you've got that consistency, which is probably the hardest thing in the game, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We see it with teams every week. Like they'll have a good 3-4 games, and then they'll have a bad result, and then they go on a run again. But obviously I watched East Preston Godalming yesterday, and Godalming were tough. They were like really tough to break down. But what are they like to play at their ground?
Yeah, Mo's got them so well drilled there, and you can tell that they all love him as well. He's such a top bloke, and you can tell the players play for him. They will fight hard for him, and when they score, they celebrate it together. They're really together too. They are tough to play. So we played them twice already this season. 1-1 in the cup, lost on pens, and then it was a fairly late goal for them in the league for them to nick all 3 points. We actually had a chance quite late on to nick a point ourselves and just didn't quite go our way. But yes, it's difficult. They're so well built. They're a smart side as well. They're really, really smart. It just takes, with them, they'll keep it so tight, but it'll just be that one moment of magic. Someone switches off and they'll punish you for it.
Yeah.
I like that. I mean, it is such a tough division to try and predict this year. You know, I mean, a big game yesterday was Billingshurst, Worthing United. They went up there and don't know much about what happened in the game. I'm looking at it 3-2 Billingshurst. Tough place to go, Worthing United. They've really put themselves.
Chose not to.
When you do shots, I'll be honest. What about Arundel? They're like not managerless at the moment. There's stuff.
They're not managerless.
No, you know what I mean. You know what I mean though. Like what they've done is they're caretaking the situation. They had that guy going for one game, didn't work out. Had a bit of a heart attack, and they moved on to like obviously like Jimbo and the team there, that, like Josh, who like, are great guys. Oh, by the way, my main's here. But like two good guys that have gone in there and they're doing really well. So what if they go and pull it off? What if they get into the playoffs and they pull off promotion? A club with new ambition behind the scenes. Does Arundel become a little bit of a player in the club?
Yeah, quite possibly. They've definitely got the infrastructure there. You know, I was there myself, wasn't I? Josh, that they've got as manager now, he has a fantastic coaching mind. You know, he's been around there with Brighton for many years now. You know, he knows players. He knows so much about the game. He is pretty timid character. He's not really one that goes in and batters them, but he can lose it if he has to. I thought when Craig left, they should have gave it to him anyway. I do. You know, they tried experimenting with. Well, I know they were after you, Bill, weren't they?
Yeah, like we had a good. Like I really like their chairman, and I actually chatted with Josh as well. And I think he's a really, really really nice guy, and I reckon I would have enjoyed working with him. It just didn't work out for me at the time. But the fact of the matter is, I think they're going to be fine there. Oh my main's here. Look at that. Oh, that's some, I think we lost Al.
I think we have for the minute. No, he's
Oh,
back.
He went a little state, mate.
Yeah, look, look, there's no denying. I did have a good conversation with them, and I think they're good. That's a good club, and could have been a good opportunity for me, but didn't happen. Luckily, they've got round to where they are now, and I think they're in really good hands, and I really want them to pick on.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I know a lot of the committee members there.
Yeah.
In it, I know they really care for the club. Do you know what I think would push that club forward, Arundel? You've got to bear in mind, the grounds are owned by, the Duke.
The Duke,
yeah, up the hill.
Yeah, who owns the castle. Now, I heard his son, the Duke's son, was getting more and more involved, coming to a few more committee meetings, rather than in recent times. If they looked at Arundel, what's their biggest problem? The pitch. Yeah?
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah.
Bill, you had it down at Uckfield when you were there, right? If you can't get a pitch where it's consistent, I know even Billingshurst have problems in that on their, you can't get a pitch that's consistent. You obviously can't train there as well. So they had to train over LTA, Littlehampton Academy, and training on half a pitch. That's not going to help anyone. It really ain't. If they could get a 3G pitch in there, like Saltdean have done, invested in the future, easily get revenue brought in. You could train there. You could draw more players, because I know full well they don't pay. A couple of players might get a little bit, but it's nothing. It is really nothing. Yeah, that's a fact, because I've seen that. It's a well-run club behind the scenes. It's got history. If they could get that 3G pitch, they could easily compete in the Prem, I believe. However, that's out of their hands. That's going to have to be for the Duke to push on. So maybe that'll happen, maybe not. But if I was on their committee, I would be using a steering group to say to him, this is what you should be doing. Can we do it? How viable is it? Moving forward. At the end of the day, it's a very tight-knit community around there. There's a few quid knocking around that area. It's a nice area as well.
Always has been in Arundel.
Yeah. So if they could do that, I really think they could be a force. They wouldn't be in Div 1, if they had a play. That's just more.
I agree with that.
Yeah. What else has happened this weekend then? In bed by 10.
Well, there's been some, as we spoke earlier, there has been some big results that were going about yesterday, and I mean Friday and yesterday seem to be, for me this season, some of the biggest numbered results going about. Like B said, Lancing 9-0, Shore 10-2, Dale yourself 9-1 yesterday, and then we should talk about was Saltdean on Friday night. For Lowell going there, and we've all heard that Lowell left because of this and because of that, but he's gone into a club that they're having a whole new ground built and new clubhouse built and everything like that. But yeah, he's sort of, as far as we know, got players in he wants now. So I suppose, would you say for him now, it's getting those players to gel and then starting to bring the results in?
Firstly, one thing you can't do is say to Lowell, you can't take that project on. That's a beautiful stadium they're building there down at Saltdean. It's imperative that he tries to keep them up. They got a backer who've got quite a few quid. I know that for a fact. He wouldn't be investing that into it. It's going to be one of the best stadiums around. and you got a wonderful one down the road at Peacehaven as well. You know, so he took a gamble on that, and I know he's had some tough results. He's moved a few of his players over. You know, Shoreham, they obviously lost out on nearly a whole team.
Yeah,
in there. But 7-1, let's take away from the fact that it's Copthorne that are obviously having not a great season. You've got to still go and beat what's in front of you.
exactly.
And they went and pumped him 7-1. Do you know what I mean?
Speaking to him a few weeks ago, he was talking about, you know, that they still had the ambition to really have a go at playoffs this season. And I think what you're saying is the project with the ground and everything, it looks as though they will be in a really, really good position to challenge. And they've obviously got some good players in over there now. I think looking at the league table, I certainly don't think they'll be in a relegation battle. I think they'll kick on. But it might be a little bit late now to, you know, who knows? Arundel did it, but it might be a little bit late now to really have that charge.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that, Dale. I don't think they're going to be playoffs this year. But I think they've lost too many games. I think there's too many points now that we've got that. And they're still, you know, they're still not in that. When do they move in? Back in, home?
December, I think.
Right, so look, I don't know, but look, I don't think they'll be in a relegation scrap. Agree with that. I think it pains me to say, I probably think the bottom three I think Lockswood could end up getting sucked down there as well. What's going on there? Oxford obviously need a change of fortunes, and I hope Alex delivers that. It's been tough. I know recruitment's not been easy. And look, Copthorne should never been in that division. They should have got relegated last year. They shouldn't have been reprieved. They should have been let go. And they should have brought up a Westfield. Like, I'm ready for it. I mean, we can push on. But look, it is what it is. But it goes to my comment earlier. When you're getting results like 7s and what have you, not like 9s. Come on, like, you know,
It's
like,
a bit of a gap.
Yeah, it's not nice, and like I'm sure we're going to get onto Shoreham, right? That's the next one, Lee.
Plan B, or we can do Lancing.
Let's do Shoreham quickly, because I'm going to leave you early tonight. The box office is going to leave, as Mike calls me, right? I'm going to leave, but with the Shoreham situation, after last week, I felt quite guilty, actually, and I want to put that on record. I feel guilty how much we talked about it last week, and I talked about the situation Connor's now going to find himself in. And I actually asked Charles afterwards, I was like, was we too heavy on him? And I listened to back, and I don't think we was, but that is some task. Like they had 5 or 6 changes yesterday of players that are meant to have been brought in, and with all due respect, it looks like they were 6-0 down before any red card or anything like that. Like it's not good enough, right? It's not good enough to. Surely they can lock things up better and not get popped by teams. Yeah, lose 2-1, 2-0, 3-0, 4-0, maybe 5-3, whatever. But to concede 10 goals at step 5. It's not going the right way. They need to. Yeah. Something needs to really change there, and I just think it just feels a little bit like it's just like, you know, it's like what's the word? There's a phrase about doing the same thing like over and over again. Like, I'm in a restaurant, so my brain's everywhere at the moment. But it just feels like it's madness. That it just feels like Josh had Connor as his assistant. So what's the difference? Like, well, genuinely, what's the difference? You know, is it like, can Connor now bring his own players in? Great, but there's still got to be a philosophy of how you play that's got to change. Yeah. From what I was speaking to Charles, it was, you know, and he felt terrible as well on Connor after the game, but it was easy.
Allegedly, their keeper had a weldy as well, Sean.
Exactly.
Charles, he said that, yeah.
You know, and like, you worry for a club like Shoreham, because it's a bit of free fall. You look at Lockswood now, right? Got relegated, now bottom of League One. What if that happens? You know, so look, it's got a hell of a task. It's got to bring in better players than players it's bringing in. You know, you look at some of those names and their pedigrees, they're not going to save them. So,
I think that's a challenge, isn't it? Where they're in the position they're in and they're conceding the goals they're conceding. the players are going to look at that and go, do I want to be associated with that? It's a difficult challenge he's got now, but it's one that they're looking at it now. They're 2 points from to be in the position to go and kick on and survive. So it's definitely doable. It's 100% doable. All it takes in that, when you're in a relegation battle, is get 2 or 3 wins on the bounce, and all of a sudden you're fighting again. But I think you're at a point where you've got to get that recruitment right. And I think I've been in that position at step 7, right? And it's so difficult at that level. You'd like to think that when you're at step 5, you've got the pull. Because you're playing at that level, you can pull people from step 6 or even step 7. There's some good players down at that level that should be playing high. You just need to know where they are. Yeah, well, I mean, you got Brad Pritchard playing at Westfield, right? And he was comfortable playing for Bexhill a couple of seasons ago, right? Step 5. So there's some very good players down at that sort of level that you can pick them up if you. I think there's a lot of people that turn their nose up a bit at step 7 because it's outside of that sort of traditional senior pyramid. But I think that's a good pool to fish from for sure.
Yes, I agree. Gentlemen, I'm going to leave you early tonight. And it's in Mike's, it won't happen again. I've got to be in bed by 9, Lee Penn. So I'm going to leave early. So it's been an absolute pleasure, mate. And wish you all the best.
Good to catch up, mate.
And look, I just hope these clubs that are suffering these heavy defeats, the managers are getting the support that they need behind the scenes, right? Whether that's just general emotional support, any sort of support. They need help, right? Teams will get relegated. At the end of the season, 2 go down from that division, 3 go down from Division 1. It is what it is. Normally, the worst teams in the league go down. That's facts, right? Yeah. But like the young Connor, who sent me a nice message after our chat last week online. I hope everyone's rallying around him because he can say that it wouldn't affect him. He's Saturday night would have been ruined, and he'd probably be assessing what he needs to do, and it's not nice, right? So support your managers as well as the managers support their players. Get behind them, look after them, and I'll see you next Sunday.
Good night.
Yeah, I agree. Enjoy your steak, William.
I will. Cheers.
See you later, buddy. Box office, Bill, love him.
Bill, the Project Wood, leaving us early there.
Yeah, look, just touching on that. I as we said last week, let's give the lad a chance.
Yeah,
he ain't gonna. Rome weren't built in a day. I know he's going to be under pressure. He knows the task of the job he's got on. Let's not forget as well. He was playing a shit hot Horsham YM side.
Oh,
I tell you what, they are getting better and better. Saw a couple of goals from that Noel Fisher today.
Good player, isn't
he? Yeah, yeah, of course he is, mate.
He is. You sponsor him.
It is what it is, mate. But he's running rings round teams at the moment. He really is. So I don't know.
What do we take then from the whole Lancing situation as well? Again, they've lost again. They've suffered a heavy defeat this season, 9-0 Eastbourne United. What would you say Lancing are looking at? Would you say that no, they're going to struggle the rest of this season, or?
Well, look, it's obviously not my area of expertise out there. I've never been at that level with in Sussex before, so I can't really comment with that much knowledge without having seen those teams play. But it is obviously what you alluded to earlier. It is a bit of a concern. Why are these teams sort of coming down, and then all of a sudden they're sliding lower and lower? And obviously Loxwood, they're where they are at the moment. Upfield, they came down from step 5, and then last season they sort of mid-table. I genuinely think Billy would have had him in the playoffs had he stayed. They looked a good side when he was there. But yeah, you're seeing it more. Go on, what's that?
Well, when Bill was where? At Lancing?
No, at Uckfield.
Uckfield.
Right. Yeah, Uckfield. Yeah, no, well, they obviously came down from step 5, didn't they? And I thought he was having a good go with them.
I agree with that.
So it's, but you're seeing these teams now, they keep sliding. And I don't know whether that's a culture thing. Is it because they're used to losing? Who knows? Obviously, Saltdean were that before, but that they're obviously turning that around now.
I think it's confidence as well, isn't it? If you look at your Hayward Chiefs and your Worms at the moment, they're relentless winning, win. That mentality where it's like, and if they see a team that's a bit lower in the league or really struggling, they want to punish them. They want to be fucking ruthless.
Yeah, of course you do. You see it as an opportunity to stat pad, don't you? Yeah.
Like you want to get your goals up yesterday, yeah? What you went 1-0 down, didn't you?
Yeah, 1-0 down within 10 minutes, yeah.
And what score at half time?
3-1 up.
And what did you tell them?
I told them we have to get the next goal because otherwise they will come back at us and they will really go for that third. As soon as they scored their first, you could see that they're a team low in confidence, but as soon as they scored their first yesterday, they had an extra 20%. They came after us at kickoff, 1-0 up. They were raring to get a second.
But my point is, you would tell them to kick on for that goal difference, wouldn't you?
Yeah, well, look, something that I keep saying to my players at the moment is good habits, because I think there's certain things that have cost us during the course of this season where we just slip into bad habits. So when we get that fourth and all of a sudden we know that their heads are going to start going because they were fighting hard to get back into the game and all of a sudden we've just sucked it back out of them, it's then just re-emphasising those good habits and just be absolutely ruthless. And they were yesterday. We had a new lad that joined us last week. He come off the bench and scored a 5-minute hat-trick. So it's a
5-minute hat-trick?
Scored a hat-trick in 5 minutes.
It's got to be a record, isn't it?
Well, 7 days would be going in for him soon, wouldn't they?
Well, we've only had him for 2 games, so I hope not.
But my point is, Dale, going back to the Lancer thing, where they got pumped 9-0, Eastbourne United are a really good side. For whatever reason, things haven't really clicked this year. But they got the players, and they were 6-0 up at half time. They still kept it tight in the back. 6-0 up at time, the heads have gone anyway. You're trying to keep it respectable. And look, are they in trouble, Lancing? I think they've had to rebuild, not a team. They've had to rebuild a club from behind the scenes. They went from being literally broke, owing money everywhere, including to the county FA, who they live with, they're their landlords, to now being in the black, money, new committee members, new youth sides coming through. Mr. Gander knows what kind of a job he's got, but he's that guy that's known the club inside out. He's been there before, every part. He's a local lad, he loves the club. He knows he might have to take 1 step back to get 2 steps forward eventually, So, yeah, I think they're going to have a really tough thing, but confidence, beaten 3-1 by New Haven at home, 4-1 by Horsham at home, 9-0 away. Some of those players will be thinking, do I fancy this?
Yeah.
And that's when you look into the characters of the players, because if they don't fancy it, you might as well be playing with Deadwood. That's
they've got to be up for the fight, haven't they? They've got to be up for the fight.
They've got to be. Yeah, it needs a mentality shift, maybe.
I think that's maybe where you struggle a little bit sometimes when you're at step 5 and budgets are expected, players getting paid, etc. Because it comes down to a point of, are they there because they want to fight, they want to muck in with their mates, or are they there because it's just another club that have gone, I'll come down here, I've got 50 quid for you. And
they don't pay any money. Even if Ashley thinks they're on about $1,000 a week or whatever, they don't pay money because they just can't. At the moment, they used to. I remember getting money there years and years ago.
Yeah, but then what you're saying is spot on. It's sometimes that reality, knowing what the reality is and going, do you know what, we have to take a step back to take 2 steps forward. At the moment, it's looking like it might be 2 steps back, but so be it. If that's the case, then that's what you've got to do to just rebuild and go again.
Yeah, Liam says there he missed a hatful against Lancing, Sean Lancing,
Yeah.
But they key thing he says here, they're young men. Sometimes you need an experienced head in there that's been there, maybe got maybe got relegated, or maybe been around enough for when their heads do drop, when they go down 1-2 early, help them with that mentality and the character. And you lads know what it's like. If there's no leaders around you, it's upon yourselves to be that leader. And if nobody's willing to take that on, it's only going south. Just in my opinion, you know.
Yeah, sometimes it's someone to just show the way, innit? Get that challenge in.
Show
the lads. This is what it's going to take.
Yeah.
Another club we haven't mentioned, who we have quite a good relationship with, is Roffey. Away at Vardinians, won 5-1, I think it was yesterday.
Yeah, I'm made up for Jack Mundy. He works so hard behind the scenes in that club. And they haven't had the start they wanted. And by the way, they have got a beautiful stadium coming in the next 18 months.
Yeah.
We've seen the plans to it. It's over the road. And
so over near the school, isn't it? Is that right?
Yeah, it looks phenomenal. You know, this is what teams are doing at the moment. Your Saltdeans and Bognor are doing it at the moment down there. They know the way to go if they want revenue, stability, and being able to train all the time. Is to make that investment. It is, you know, it's a sad reality of it. But yeah, Roffey, Lee, what have you heard?
No, it's just looking, and it was, you know, a nice 5-1 victory yesterday, which, you know, any big result that comes, you know, we could say we're getting to halfway through the season now, and that will really, you know, uplift the players, uplift the coaching staff, you know, Jack as well. They'll be looking at, and they'll be bouncing on to next. Who are you able to see who they've got next week?
I can have a quick look. I've got it up on here anyway.
Yeah, it's DB. You just missed that, mate.
Away to Bognor Regis in a cup next week, roughly.
So there you go. So they're going to go. They're going to go into that. Thinking, right, boys. You know, we beat Vardinians at the Withdean as well. I mean, any club that goes to the Withdean, you know, you like old Branch go. You like to play there and get a result. So they're going to go.
Like it. I don't like stadiums that have athletics tracks around them. You need some fucking binoculars, mate. You know what I mean?
I've been there a few times. And yeah, I have to keep asking people, can I get closer when I'm filming a video or something like that. But Roffey are going to go into this game against Bognor and going to be like, right, we're up for this now.
It's a couple of tough games. They've got Bognor. It's Tuesday night. They've got Bognor, and then they've got Guernsey away on Saturday.
Yeah, that one's easy at home.
Guernsey at full strength is, yeah.
Oh, guess what I saw as well, talking about Guernsey. Right, so there's two airlines that fly out of Guernsey. The one we got, you know, the old Propeller Peak one. Aurigny Airlines or whatever it is. But the only other airline they've got is one called Blue, I don't know, something crap. That's just folded, mate. It's gone into administration. That is. So they've now only got Propeller Man to get them from the island. Yeah, fuck that, mate. You know what I mean?
Mate, you were right. You fell asleep.
As if.
Oh,
yeah.
Westfield.
Yeah.
They want to come on as well, Westfield. We'll have to get them in for Christmas.
I'd love Westfield to go up. I really would. You know, work Jack and Harry put behind the scenes is phenomenal. And, you know, it's a real community club down there. You know, they all know each other.
Great bunch down there. It was a shame only one of Westfield or Ringwood could go up last season because they're both top clubs that have done a lot of good work behind the scenes.
Yeah,
exactly. Both fantastic clubs. You know. What else, Pen? What else been going on, mate? Because obviously I was at the boxing, mate. I didn't get to see much, and any results.
Yeah, I mean, I was at EP yesterday.
How were
EP were good. Zion.
Yep.
Is it his name? Zion, is it?
Yep.
He got sent off.
Oh, why?
There was a bit of I couldn't see all of it, but there was a bit of a tussle. And I think as the Godalming player got up, Zion went to put his head in, and the ref saw, and it was a straight red. And yeah, he was off for the rest of the game. But give it to EP. They played really well with 10 men. They did not give up from when he got sent off to when it finished. But like Dale said, Godalming, God, what a tough team they are to break.
They just don't give you anything, do they?
No, not at all. But I've got to say, they're number 6 or number 4. He had a very clean kit the whole game.
What the fuck?
Yeah, rest of the players, absolute filthy. Number 6, you had a bit of too much of a clean kit going on there, mate. Couldn't see a bit of a mud or anything like that. But but to be fair, both teams play really well. I spoke to Mo before the game. He's coming on the 30th. He's going to join us, but he's just such a nice bloke.
He has he is another one that has a wonderful mind for the game.
Yeah, he has.
Yeah.
I went up there with Arundel, right, and they battered us, and he's so humble. He's so humble, and he's the type of bloke, Mo, that if you're a struggling manager, his phone will be open.
Yeah, 100%. He'll put an arm around you all day long.
I've never heard a bad word said about him.
No,
I really haven't.
We a couple of weeks ago, my little one was up at St George's Hospital. He lives just around the corner. He dropped me a message. If you need anything at all, let me know. Top bloke.
Class, bloke. Anyway, this one's come up for you, lads. Go on.
Walker, do you think will make up Premier
League?
playoffs?
And by the way, non-league football, Sussex, lovely little Substack he's been doing at the moment as well, doing some reports. Go and give that a follow.
Who do you think, Dale?
I mean, you've only got one winner, right? Yeah, so that's why we're talking about playoffs.
I agree.
I think
I agree. It'd take a cataclysmic fuck up for Kev Green's blue and white army, the well-oiled machine, to cock this up now. I reckon they got a chance in the Vars.
Yeah, I don't see why not. Well. Obviously, the current holders struggled a bit against Infinity, didn't they, by the looks?
Yeah. Spicy game, I think. So go on in, lads. What are we saying?
So, playoffs. Stenning.
Yeah.
Obviously, Horsham, and the way they're playing at the minute, they look unstoppable. I think it's too late for Guernsey now. They've had too many bad results, and they've dropped down the table a little bit.
They've got games in hand, though, haven't they?
Yeah,
they have.
13.
They have.
They're only seven off playoffs, and they've got 3 games in hand.
Yeah. What's the table at the moment? Because I haven't got the table up on my phone or anything.
So you got Hayward Heath obviously top, Stenning, YM, Peacehaven, Forest Row, New Haven, Pagham. But I mean, you've got 4th, 5th, and 6th are all tied on 31 points currently.
I'm going to go Stenning, Horsham, Pagham, and Peacehaven.
I'm going to go Stenning, Horsham, Peacehaven, New Haven.
Yeah, we had New Haven in a friendly pre-season. Really nice bunch of guys down there. But it's a young group. It's a young group, isn't it?
I don't know. It is tight. We can have right eggs on our face. I
still think Guernsey could do it, you know.
Let's lock them in. Lock them in. And what does he say? He reckons Stenning, YM, Guernsey,
Eastbourne United. Well, did I see that a third of the goals they scored all season came yesterday, didn't they?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Mad.
Maybe that could be the kickstart they need.
Are Eastbourne within touch?
I mean, they're on 18 points. 5th is currently 31. It's a bit of a stretch.
He reckons they're going to go on a run.
There's a good chance of that. There's a good chance of that. I definitely think at the moment, Stenning and Horsham are locked in.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, I mean, I've committed to. Cheers, hey. Next time, mate, you can get me some. I've committed to Horsham YM winning the playoffs. I said if they win,
and you get a tattoo or something.
I'll get a tattoo live. Record it. We'll do it live of a Horsham YM badge there on my chest. I said that on a stream. I was like, I'll do it if Horsham YM.
Wow.
Win promotion through the playoffs. We go to a tattooist, do it live, and I'll get it done.
Is this when you had your 2 JD and Cokes over that weekend I was away?
No, it wasn't. It was long before that. Don't give me the 2 JD and Cokes. Remember, we've had night out. Remember, you were projectile and red. They thought you hemorrhaged.
That was 3 bottles of red wine.
Pub of red wine. But yeah, Jarzi. Even Jarzi's reminded me that if they get promoted, I will do it live, recorded live, tattooed.
Well, there's 750 people watching now.
That can vouch.
If that happens, we'll do a live stream of him getting that done. And how big? Don't make it a little fucking pony one as well.
No, it'd be so it's covered. Yeah, like you would get on a kit.
Look, a kit size badge, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, mate, this is something I've got to see.
And I'll get it with colour as well, not just black and white. I'll get colour. So the whole full
crest
thing.
That's right. Good job it's you doing it, because if it was Mike, he'd still be calling it YMCA.
And I'll tell you what, just to confirm, so they know it's all real and everything like that. If they go up, I'll get it tattooed, and I'll get the date that it was all they secured promotion and everything like that. And then I'll come down to the ground, pre-season or whatever, or final day, and I'll show it off.
Right.
Big statement.
There's a lot of clubs I like, and I love your Stellings, I love your Horshams and that. But if that happens, I think I just got to say it. You can't pull out now, though, mate. And it ain't one of these fucking henna tattoos either.
No. It'd be a proper inked in on me. Question for Dale: how many players are you still playing from Mid Sussex League Dale?
It's a good question. Yeah, we had a fair bit of turnover. So last season we still had quite a few, but yeah, this season we had a fair bit of turnover. So skipper Joe Albishlawi still playing for us. He came from, if it existed, Step 8. He was with us, and then you've got, was Jordan with us in our? I think Jordan was with us. Goalkeeper, he was with us in our Step 7 season. Harrison Spicer. I'm sure there's more as well. But yeah, we've still got a fair few, and a lot of them are now playing with our resis at Step 7 as well. I think just general sort of life commitments. I think they realised that step up and playing 48 games a season is tough, because you miss a game or two, and that's it. You're struggling to get your place back.
That. I've got a few questions. Sorry that people have DM'd me.
Got them.
For Coach Wyatt there.
Oh, hello.
This might get you in a bit of trouble and all, mate.
We'll just clarify. Cheers. If you want to answer it. If you don't, we go on to the next.
Is this a no comment situation, isn't it?
Yeah. No comment.
Who are the 3 best players in your league, not including your team?
Oh, that's tough. Yeah, you put me on the spot a little bit there. I mean, you mentioned Zahn earlier. He's a goal machine, right?
He's too good for that team.
Yeah, he just every season he's there, and he's leading the stats with goals. I think Godalming have got a couple that could quite easily go in there. I can't remember the name of the fellow who plays on the 10 for him. Decent, very, very good.
I know you mean.
Who else have we got up there at the moment? So currently top, we've got Godwin, we've got Werwin up there, Infinity. Yeah, I think got me squaring on that. The third one's difficult. The third one is quite difficult actually. Let's have a quick look at the league table. That might sort of help me out a little bit here.
Yeah, and then I've got a couple more for you to munch on as well.
Yeah.
They want to know what your favourite away ground is in the league.
Oh, interesting. I'll tell you what, actually, going back to the last question, a player that we have had a bit of trouble against this season is a lad against Walcountians. I think Chica, right winger.
Okay.
He's a problem actually. Quick, very, very quick. He's caused us some issues this season. I think he's sort of floating around up there in terms of goal stats for the league. So maybe I'll chuck him up there as well. But favourite away ground this season that we've been to so far. Where have we been so far? We've been to most places, haven't we? I mean, obviously, we haven't played Arundel away yet this season, but you know the backdrop there is lovely, isn't it? Quite like that.
It is beautiful.
Top
burgers as well, mate.
Get Gaz on that one. In terms of facilities, we went away to Corinthian in the Vars, but obviously it's not within our league. But that was carpet, mate. We didn't need to go to Wembley playing there. The pitch was unreal. Even Uckfield, they obviously get a bit of stick for their pitch during the course of the winter, but going there early doors in the season, their pitch is decent early on. I know Nick puts in a lot of work down there for them. I really like, obviously you've got Dorking, Meadowbank, but I really like what Ringmer have done at their setup actually, where you can sit out the top, watch the game on a balcony. You know, the hospitality there is decent as well. I see Tommy messaged on here earlier as well. He's in the comments. You know, I like Tommy. Gone with Tommy over the last few years. We speak quite a bit. But yeah, I think if you're going to aspire to sort of anything from our perspective, it's having a setup like that where you've got a partnership with a school and you can grow something like that. I'm quite envious of that. So I think I'll probably go with Ringmer, actually.
Yeah, I can't disagree with you there.
Yeah, no, we've been there a few times.
And the third one is, if Dale Wyatt left today, Relegate Priority, but you were allowed to name your successor from someone in either the Prem or Div 1 to take over from you, who would that be?
Anyone across Prem or Div 1.
Anyone.
And I can't do it internally. Can't do a okay.
Can't do a Liverpool boot room.
Yeah, I don't know enough. I don't know enough people in the Prem really, if I'm honest. Yeah, obviously Billy loves a project, doesn't he? So, but yeah, I mean, if it's going to be anyone, there's no question it's going to be Mo.
Yeah.
Love that.
Interesting questions.
Yeah.
No more questions, Your Honour.
Okay, so I will give you one more question before we start to close it down because I've got to be in bed by 10. Who is at the club the best trainer?
The best trainer,
player-wise, trains the best
at the whole club. Oh Christ! Do you know what? I'm going to give Club Legend a shout out here because he was a player for me for quite a while. He's gone to the Rezzies now. Dave McLaughlin, Macca, absolute legend. Like the lads love him. Always trains hard, and he's just an example to the rest of the boys. Like even first team lads that we've still got now, they still they look up to him. He accidentally messaged in our first team group chat recently. I can't remember what he put in there, but it almost insinuated that he got the call up to play, and they were all absolutely buzzing. He was like, "Sorry, mate, I accidentally pressed the button whilst I was in the shower." But no, he's an absolute legend.
Okay, and who would you say the sort of comedian but can pump the team up in the locker room as well, in the changing room?
There's only one. It's Lee Peacock. Absolute numpty, but we love him. There's a video doing the rounds at the moment. He scored a brace yesterday, but the first one he's got his own sort of entourage that comes to all of the games, and he scored, gone straight over to him, jumped in, had a sip of one of their ciders, then gone running off again. Joker cracks me up.
Nice. But right, we are going to end it there tonight. For the
Dale, you've been phenomenal, mate.
Cheers, mate. I'll be honest, mate. I felt like a bit of a warm-up act. I've seen some of the guys you got coming on here soon, and they are proper box office, aren't they?
no one's a warm-up act, mate. Don't worry about that.
Can I give a quick shout out to Aaron as well, who's obviously commented on a few of the things tonight. But he's my assistant. He's top. Without
he's wicked, isn't he? I like
he's so good. I cannot tell you, the commitment from this guy is a joke. I don't think he's missed a game in the 4 or 5 years he's been with me. Obviously, I've had some personal things going on, and he's taken the reins of everything swimmingly. He even went. He drives a VW GTI, I think it is. But he went and bought himself a van specifically for football. He's carpeted it out. He's built shelves, put it in it. It's all for. Honestly, this guy is. Without him, there's no way we'd be where we are now. So even I'm the face of it. But he needs a shout out because the effort that he puts in behind the scenes. He's also our first team secretary. So I mentioned earlier we have to prove that we're self-sufficient in the club. So we have a separate secretary to the rest of the club for the first team. He does all of that stuff as well. So top bloke.
Yeah, he is a great guy.
Not sure what's going on here. My sound's gone on.
Can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can, mate.
My earphones have gone back in here on the laptop. So that's all good.
Cool. But right, well, we're gonna end it there. Dale, thank you so much for coming on, mate. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on tonight.
Cheers. Sorry, mate. I literally caught the last bit there saying having you on tonight. That was it. I think my laptop's giving up.
What we do is just saying, mate, it's been a pleasure having you on the pod tonight for the third episode.
Thank you for having me on. It's been superb. And I thought I'd come and do it from the clubhouse. Obviously, we talked about spiritual ground, so I can show a little bit of the history in the back. I spoke to you guys before we went live. Yeah. There's like pictures from teams back in the 1800s that were winning cups and whatnot. So just wanted to drop that in there as well.
And Dale, I want to thank you for the time you gave me pre-season. You know, anytime I want a bit of content or need a little bit of advice or something like that, your phone is always open.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and likewise. Yeah.
And I really appreciate you, man.
Well, I mean, not just me. Obviously, everyone appreciates the exposure that you're giving to these Sussex clubs at the moment. It's very much needed. Getting the brand out there, getting helping to get sponsorships in and everything as well. But you mentioned pre-season, one of the potential features for this season. I'm still looking forward to seeing what's going on with that, involving a car. I don't want to give too much away just in case it's a spoiler.
Oh.
You don't remember what you mentioned?
Was that Mike?
Yeah. The little Mike? Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. I haven't seen you do that yet. I was going to ask you about it, but I don't know if that's a spoiler if I say too much.
Nah, don't say too much.
Yeah, well, there you go then. There you go.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Okay,
I still think that would be superb. I still think that would be very good.
Okay. I love that. We keep finding a few surprises. I love it. But no, mate, you're a top bloke. Good luck to everyone at Relegate.
Yeah.
Prior this year. Behind the scenes, obviously a huge community club. As I said, affecting nearly 1,000 families in the region. Considering in the region, you've got some big players as well, which is even better. So, yeah, top man for coming on.
Cheers for having us on, chaps.
No, thank you. And everyone that watched tonight, thank you very much. And we will be back next Sunday.
Yeah. Take care, guys.
Cheers.
Take care.
Everyone.